Chaos erupted in seconds, yet the echoes still haven't faded. The assassination of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University wasn't just a shocking act of violence. It was an event that shattered public confidence in security, transparency, and truth itself. What began as a lively campus event with thousands of attendees has turned into a national scandal exposing possible cover-ups, institutional missteps, and unanswered questions about who, or what, was truly behind Kirk's death. Stay with us, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates as this story unfolds. Over 3,000 people filled the university's auditorium that afternoon, gathered to hear Kirk speak as part of his national campus tour. Security was present, but far from airtight. While large-scale events like this typically include rooftop and perimeter surveillance, investigators later discovered that crucial vantage points were left completely unmonitored. No armed lookouts were stationed on nearby buildings. No aerial surveillance was in place. The outer security cordon was light, with limited crowd screening and only a handful of cameras positioned toward the main stage. In hindsight, experts argue that the setup created a perfect storm for disaster. What's more disturbing is that prior warnings had already been issued. Threat analysis reports, later leaked to the press, showed credible alerts of potential disruptions targeting Kirk's appearances, yet many of those alerts were ignored or dismissed as low-level risks. Despite the growing tension surrounding his campus tour, Charlie Kirk reportedly refused any form of enhanced protection. Those close to him say he was adamant about remaining accessible to the public, insisting that heavy security would create distance between the message and the people. His decision, while noble in intent, proved costly. Federal briefings released afterward indicated that several agencies had advised his team to implement controlled entry zones and backstage shielding. Yet, according to event organizers, Kirk personally overruled suggestions for added barriers and armed guards. Witnesses now recall seeing minimal security presence on the upper walkways and no tactical surveillance positioned behind the main seating area, decisions that, in retrospect, left him dangerously exposed. As the investigation unfolded, one of the most glaring revelations was the complete breakdown in communication between private security contractors and campus police. Each side assumed the other was responsible for monitoring certain zones, leading to critical gaps that left sections of the event virtually unguarded. Internal memos later revealed confusion about who had command authority if an emergency broke out. That confusion turned fatal when, in less than 10 seconds, gunfire erupted from somewhere within or above the venue. Kirk collapsed before any officer or guard could even identify the shooter's direction. The chaos that followed, screaming crowds, officers shouting conflicting orders, and a stampede toward exits, was described by survivors as pure pandemonium. When footage from the event finally surfaced, analysts immediately noticed something odd. Just seconds before the gunfire, several members of the security detail appeared to reposition abruptly. Two agents shifted their stance toward the rear stage entrance, and another moved off camera entirely. While this may have been routine repositioning, the timing has drawn intense scrutiny. Some observers believe it suggests advance awareness of an imminent threat, something that should have triggered an immediate lockdown. Investigators initially dismissed this as coincidence, but digital analysts reviewing the footage frame by frame have called for deeper inquiry into what those movements truly meant. Within hours of the shooting, federal agents arrived on campus and seized all digital evidence. Surveillance servers, security drives, and even student-recorded footage were confiscated. The official reasoning, according to the Department of Justice, was to preserve evidence integrity. Yet, weeks later, none of that material was released, not to the public, not even to Kirk's legal representatives. The result was an information blackout that fueled public suspicion. Social media filled with speculation that the government was hiding key evidence. Then came the leaks. Short clips began surfacing online, allegedly extracted from the seized footage. They showed inconsistencies, missing frames, abrupt cuts, and moments of visual distortion precisely at the time of the shooting. Experts believe these redactions were not accidental. A whistleblower later claimed that portions of the video had been intentionally deleted or replaced with blank data fields. That whistleblower, a former security technician contracted for the event, described being pressured by federal agents to remain silent. His statement, though unverified, reignited a nationwide outcry over transparency and raised disturbing questions about what authorities might be concealing. Eyewitnesses further complicated the picture. Several attendees described hearing not one but multiple gunshots, possibly from different directions. Others claimed to see figures moving on the rooftops moments before the chaos began. These testimonies directly contradict the official claim that a lone gunman, Tyler Robinson, fired from within the main auditorium. The discrepancies have cast doubt on the entire narrative, leaving investigators to wrestle with the possibility of a coordinated setup, or worse, an internal breach within the security apparatus itself. As the months pass, the case remains officially unresolved. The FBI maintains tight control over all physical and digital evidence, citing ongoing national security concerns. Meanwhile, journalists, independent investigators, and the public continue to demand transparency. The growing perception is that the truth is being buried under layers of bureaucracy, politics, and fear. For many Americans, this tragedy has come to represent something larger than a single shooting. It reflects a fundamental crisis of trust between citizens and the institutions meant to protect them. The takeaway from this ongoing investigation is sobering. The failure at Utah Valley was not just about one missed checkpoint or a faulty security plan, it was a systemic collapse. Communication breakdowns, ignored warnings, and ambiguous chains of command created an opening that a determined attacker easily exploited. But beyond logistics, the deeper concern lies in what happened afterward. The rapid federal takeover, the missing footage, and the refusal to release critical evidence suggest an effort to control the narrative rather than uncover the truth. Each new leak and conflicting witness statement adds another layer of uncertainty, pushing the public further away from believing any official version of events. Charlie Kirk's death has now become more than a tragedy. It's a symbol of how fragile transparency can be when power, politics, and fear intertwine. His assassination stands as a haunting reminder that truth often becomes the first casualty when institutions prioritize image over accountability. In the end, this case forces a painful question. If the truth can be hidden here, where else might it be buried? For continued updates on this developing story, make sure to subscribe for more.